That is correct. I do remember that. But there's a bot lane fight going on with this dragon coming up, and Swifty is going to be taking very low. Godox Anime is going to get Zillion ulted. Swifty is not going to be so lucky as Sunny. She's going in with the hero's interest, forced to flash out. Give me a reset is in a bad spot. Barbiturate loves these kinds of situations. Close quarters fighting, is going to pop the spray and pray, is going to pick up a kill. That's gonna
Yep, not going to get anything further, but a lot of damage and pressure as the flash comes out from Barbiturate.
Does flash the hook shot from Camille. The Urgot ult is going to pick him up. Is going to be grinding. Is going to be able to round that one out back, but Barbiturate is here. He is ready. Sunny alive. She's going to get a double taunt, and they are both going to go down. Good freaking lord. What a team fight. Wash can pick this one up. Ultimates are ready. Summoners on a few of them are ready. It is as close as it can get in terms of this. NWT are not out of this game by any means at all. Sunny off to the side. She's going to have to walk out of that one. Fiddle ultimate is going to pick up a fear on Valiancy. If Valiancy goes down, it is so bad. But Ollie's going to sacrifice his life. Twitch with the spray and pray is going to be enough. They're going to be able to pick up Sunny as
another list of pop-off performance. Fantastic play on his part Wednesday. Fantastic play with his ultimate usage. And this was his team watch dominating a team fight after team fight and consistently getting good engagements on.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Friend or Foe Series 5, game number 3 of the day. Rapidly losing sanity versus trickle-down economics. I am your friendly neighborhood Shackcaster Chargan, and I actually have joining me is Friend or Foe royalty. We have Joshi on the caster desk today.
Yo, what up, Gamerinos? You guys ready to play some League of Legos? Because I am. I'm not actually going to be playing, but I'll be talking about it.
Absolutely. I am so going to be picking your brain during all of this because it's like, I got to take advantage of this moment right now. So just right off the bat, what's kind of like your opinions of how TDE has been performing? Because I know they're kind of like, you've been their coach and whatnot, and I know you mentioned a little bit in the FOF Connect.
Yeah. Definitely. I've been spending a lot of time working with the TDE boys just in general. I've known Zen since and Leaves both since middle school. So, you know, I go way back with some of these guys. I think that as a team, TDE is probably like our best squad in the entire league, or not as a team, as individuals, like man for man, TDE is really sick. But as a team, they're still working out some kinks. And I feel like they have a bit of an easier day today going up against RLS, who even with their subs, who are very storied players like Anti, it's still 4 subs.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be 4 subs, and one of them is making their debut in the jungler, which is Ruby. I had him on the lounge earlier, and he was talking about going up against Leaves, and he's like, wow, I can't believe that this is my debut. Like, this is my first game in FOF, and I have to play against Leaves. This is going to be interesting.
I feel like we're getting a lot of that too. I remember last year in their very first week, we got to see SEAL Team Chris, the first incarnation of it. They had to play up against Rex, and it was just that, you know, to be entirely honest, sorry Chris, there was a bit of a slacking, but we get to see that right now coming up from Ruby, Kauri, and Built Like Mewtwo. And then of course Anti, if you're just tuning in for this season. Season 4, Helios League MVP, probably the best top laner between both leagues. And going up against Zen, I think he will have a lot of opportunities to showcase that as well.
He definitely will, and I want to talk about this Aphelios pick that was just picked right off the bat. We had a little bit of a shift in the meta, I've noticed. I personally like Aphelios. I like the amount of variety he brings to the team fights and stuff like that just because of his different guns. I can't recall Escape's most recent games on him, though, but what we've seen and how quick he can be, against Ultravox and Bob Joseph, how do you think that's going to end up playing out?
Well, I know that Escape has a pretty darn good Aphelios. In Rex versus RLS Season 4 Grand Finals, he played it 4 or 5 times, right? He is really good on this champion. but it's a champion that has kind of fallen a little bit to the wayside with the rise of everything else on this 12.5 patch. It is still good, don't get me wrong, but whether or not it's going to be this super sick champion isn't super clear. And Escape, while he's a very strong defensive player, we haven't necessarily seen him go for a lot of these flash Gale Force forward plays that are really necessary to piloting this champion at the highest level.
It's really true. And then we see the Cassiopeia hovered and picked up for Mazuza. Cassiopeia has been popping up a lot lately too, and just is a very, very powerful mid laner. So I kind of wonder what RLS is going to pull out in response to that. The Victor's already taken off the board, so that's not going to be an option.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning. I'm not sure exactly who Cowrie is going to end up pulling out against them. Lissandra, possibly?
Well, I actually do, so I'm not going to spoil it for everybody, but I will say that Zenzen will be a little bit sad overall once he actually sees his champion come through. One of the things that's interesting about TDE is, and I said this in my article on the FF Connect, Mazuza is a little bit attackable in his champion pool right now. Yes, he's a good player and can play a lot of champions really well, but the difference between the Mazuza that has been Diamond in previous seasons and the Mazuza that is currently playing in FOF is really stark when you take him off of the Victor and the Kale. And I feel like the Cassiopeia is rapidly becoming one of his better champions. But the things that Cassiopeia is weak at, one, you can't buy early boots. You're really slow early on and you're very immobile. And so it's very attackable by the Jarvan and Gnar. And I also know it's going to be fairly attackable from the fact that it doesn't get a lot of easy priority. It has to dump a lot of mana into the wave in order to move, and that's going to be giving a couple of the characters that RLS are going to be playing a lot more freedom on this map.
The roams are just not going to be coming out as quickly. I do like this Gragas pickup. I know that's probably going to be going into the top lane would be my first assumption. Although, yeah, theoretically it could be flexed into the bot lane for support. Haven't seen that in a while, but it is definitely something that was picked up before. I do like this Thresh pickup. Lots of utility. Very good all-around pick. Just gives you so many different options. And with how TDE is kind of shaping up right now, there's a lot of really nice targets for him to pick out.
Oh, for sure. I really like this Gragas in general. It is a very strong counter pick to the Gnar, but we do have to note that a lot of people on trickle-down economics are doing their best to play as many unique champions as possible throughout this entire season. So it's not ridiculous for this to get played bottom lane, but this is the pick I was talking about. I was trying to hide a little bit. Sherigan, the Aurelion Soul coming through for Cowrie, one of their better champions so far throughout their solo queue career, will have a lot of freedom to actually move around because Cassiopeia can't contest the way that Aurelion Soul deals with the early waves. And I also will have to say RLS is playing the kind of composition that Rex would play in order to style on people, right?
They definitely are. I feel like they might have been like, we're going up against TDE. We might, I know that you were kind of a last-minute slip in on the caster's desk, but at the same time, it's almost like they're like, hey, we got Joshi. We got to do something crazy. We got to pull out a Rex strat.
Got to throw the Gnar. Yeah.
Got to throw the Gnar in there. So I love it. I love the Space Dragon.
Yeah, Zen was asking me every single game last season if he was going to be allowed to play the Space Dragon this time. And every single time I told him, no, not this one. No, not this one. And eventually it just got to the point where it just never got played. And so he's not even the first Aurelion Soul coming through for FOF. But this time, overall, the thing about the RLS draft that I really like, it's straightforward. Right, you have Cowrie roaming around the map really early on, trying to create some space and maybe find some early advantages. But after that, you throw Ruby in like a Pokemon, out pops the Pokeball of the Cataclysm into Gnar, and suddenly the entirety of TDE is suddenly thrown up against the wall without a whole lot of ways to get out, right? Neither Ash nor Cassiopeia can leave, and that gives RLS some very straightforward win conditions that'll always exist as long as they aren't miles behind.
Exactly, and I'm kind of wondering who that Blitzcrank is going to be aiming for, because there's some of those targets that if you grab them at the wrong time, like that Gnar right as he's about to go Mega, you're just putting him in a position where he's going to win the fight.
Yeah, so this is going to be putting the question to TDE. One of the things I've said, they are very individually talented, but their setups, their willingness to have a cohesive game plan isn't always the most exciting, and this is going to be really testing that. I know Bob Joseph is one of the best supports that we have in the league, very aggressive, very good at making plays, but sometimes he'll go for things before the rest of the team are following up, and that is exactly what you're talking about, Sherigan. Trying to find an opportunity to hit the right targets is going to be super crucial for them, and they're already running towards bot lane. Oh, this is the kind of Rex invade we did last year too. Let's go.
Oh, I love this so much every single time, and we do see Aphelios going to the Tribush by his lonesome. They should be expecting it. It's a Blitzcrank. You expect an invade.
but not necessarily here. We'll see if Escape moves quickly.
Oh, that was a very, like, I don't know if the hook, how wide the hook actually was, because we didn't actually get to see it, but
That's okay.
Oh,
We
man.
forgive you, Chris. We do love the vision toggles coming through. Escape not noticing until the last second, but will have an ability to get on out. That's going to be really worrying for RLS because this is already a lane where it's not the easiest thing in the world to play Thresh into Blitzcrank. Even with the Dark Passage, you oftentimes don't get to do it because Blitzcrank is so fat. He just stands on the lantern. And where can Escape actually leave to? Now that he has no flash, he can't escape.
Exactly. And we don't know if it's going to be a Hex Tech Drix. We don't know if he's going to be able to have access to those in the later game. So I do like this starting in the top down clear with Ruby being up here in the top lane. It is going to cause Anti to be a little late to lane, but both Viego and Jarvan doing top down clears, early ganking in that bot lane is going to mean that those fights are going to get really explosive very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I want to take a little bit of time to kind of speculate a bit on how this RLS composition, or this RLS team is supposed to work, because we already touched on the fact Ruby, Kauri, and Built Like Mewtwo all coming in for different reasons for the regular members of RLS. And the biggest thing, again, very strong player, big shot caller, but we see a hook.
Nice hook, nice pull in. That's going to be a good flay in order to try and get Ultravox pulled back. The Ignite's going to come out. Ultravox getting brought very, very low. We do see Escape trying to push his luck, but he's going to be able to get out just barely. Built Like Mewtwo, of course, had to back off as well. That was a very good trade, and I feel like the ADC being lower is definitely an advantage for RLS.
Oh, for sure. But we're going to see the potions come through. There's still the Doran's Blade to keep Ultravox relatively healthy. But the fact that they now have level 2 is very dangerous.
Flash coming in out of the Blitzcrank means he's going to go in. That's going to be First Blood going over to the side of TDE as they start their investment game early.
I always love seeing the aggression coming out from Bob Joseph. He's always been looking really good in these lanes. And I know the Yubi boys like to say it's a matter of counting. Can you actually come through? And oh no.
No.
Ultravox. Okay. He's okay.
yeah, we're good.
I actually have a funny story on that for you, Sherrigan. So recently, these guys were playing Flex. And Ultravox, people make fun of him a lot, but he takes it all in good nature. He disconnected at one point during one of the games, and it actually won them the game, because when he disconnected, he runs through the enemy turret and 3 people chase after him in order to try and kill him while he was DC'd, giving over a triple kill to Leaves, and suddenly the game was just over. So even when I see stuff like that, it doesn't actually worry me a whole lot, because they've been in this exact situation before.
Oh my gosh, that's absolutely hilarious. Ruby kind of getting caught out here a little bit as Leaves is going to see them going for the scuttle, but yeah, we do have Thresh moving up. I kind of forgot Thresh was on the side of Ruby for a second.
True. If Thresh was being played by Bob Joseph, it would be pretty bad. Hex Flash going through, looking at Kauri.
Yep, looking right for it. The hook's going to come out. That's going to be nice. Pull in, knock up. Kauri's getting brought exceptionally low. Flash is going to come out. They are going to get ignited, and that is going to be the burn death.
So already, Bob Joseph making a good argument for why he should be MVP this game, getting the first blood bottom, roaming up, getting the first kill in mid lane, and this stifles a lot of what we were going to be seeing from Kauri, right? This Aurelion Sol needed to find opportunities to roam early on in the game because it doesn't scale that well. It's a champion that really relies on its early presence, and now that it's died and has no summoners, Mizuza is going to be at a dominating position for the rest of this game.
He definitely will, and I do like this position we've got set up for Anti here in the top lane. He's got the wave pushing into him under tower. J4 is moving up in that general direction, so we might be seeing a gank here shortly, which would be really nice, but at the same time, Diego's already on his way top to kind of counter that.
Yeah. I think it'll be difficult for them to actually lock down Zenzen, and full disclosure, as soon as the draft finished, Zenzen was like, yo, Josh, how do I play this matchup? And I'm like, yo, Zane, you just don't die, right? There's no way for Nard to ever really solo kill you. He needs to bring up a jungler, and the only way that Gragas loses this is if he runs out of mana. So we're already seeing a little bit of that as Zenzen, who's been playing this champion for a week, is going up against Anti, one of the best top laners that we've had in FOF for a long time, and he's doing fine, right? And if Gragas skills into the mid game, okay, and Nard skills into the mid game, okay, Zenzen's going to be completely unkillable.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out really quickly while we have the opportunity is the number of pings that we see coming out from the side of TDE versus RLS. It definitely looks like there's a lot more communication on trickle-down side than RLS's, so they definitely, the voice comms are just matching up for rapidly losing sanity, or it's, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I mean, TDE communicates a lot. Now, it's not always entirely useful communication, but they are always saying things. So that is something to keep in mind. The big thing that we'll have to note is, I know like this RLS squad has played a little bit of Flex together. They all know each other from the Wii League server named after RLS Ruby right here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a position where, okay, Anti, you can't do that, man.
Yeah, it's gonna get you a little risky. I think he's just trying to pressure this minion wave.
He's trying
to get it to crash under tower, and it's just not going his way.
Here's the first roam coming out from Kaori, already warded out. Nothing really going to be coming through, but I mean, this is kind of what we're gonna see. Like, these RLS players are working together. They need to kind of try and make things happen, even if it isn't the easiest thing in the world, because later on in the game, let's be real, the TDE players are really mechanically strong. They're really good at taking a lot of these team fights, and so RLS are going to be pressured to find some macro plays coming through. And so the fact that Anti is technically ahead in CS right now, but it will equalize mostly off of this wave, is a bit unexciting. The exciting thing is that Escape is up 2 waves already.
Exactly. He's already up 2 waves. We've got this massive push coming out right here. They do not know Leaves is waiting in the wings, waiting for this wave to push up. So this is going to be a really nice gank here in just a second.
They go for it.
Yeah, we'll see here in just a moment. Wave starts pushing up.
This is where we got to see. Escape has his flashback again, and Wisely is going to be backing away, but this is a perfect opportunity for Ultravox and Bob Joseph to try and get a freeze off.
There we go. We got the hook coming out. That's going to be a nice pull in. Bob Joseph's going to get caught, but Leaves is going to go ahead and take advantage.
Watch the hook.
Back. The hook is not going to come out in time. He doesn't. There it is, right there. That was going to be the Ignite Burn. Ultravox picking up that kill. Very well done on the side of TDE. In the meantime, in the mid lane, we do have a stun coming off. Flash coming out. The dash in to avoid the petrifying gaze. That was very well played. But Mezuzah is going to survive and get out of there with their life.
Dude, I was thinking as soon as I saw this, Mezuzah wins these, right? He can actually win this 1v2 just because of the way that it goes through. But not like that.
No.
That is not. Oh my, Chris, this is rude. See it one more time. Oh my gosh, we're getting the slow-mo to come through.
Oh!
See, I know what the idea was. He thought that Ruby was going to be stuck on the Miasma, but the thing is, Jarvan's Q doesn't count as a movement ability, right? So he can still use it, and it will hook you to the flag anyway. But that's why he did it. That's a knowledge gap that Mezuzah was missing out on, I think. But the one thing that I really want to praise TDE on so far is, again, I'm going to say his name a lot this game, Bob Joseph holding on to his hook the entire time and making sure that he could find an opportunity to keep himself alive. Or, to try and find escape at the end of the play.
Exactly. He was holding it onto it for escape because he's like, I can catch up to Thresh, no problem. Just punch him in the face and he's going to get knocked up in the air.
Exactly. And so that's one of the things I love to see. I think he's one of our strongest supports. He definitely thinks about the game a lot. And, as long as we're not seeing him go for Shaco picks when they're not appropriate, I think he has an opportunity to showcase that he is one of the best in the league. Now, kind of want to turn our attention to the rest of the map. We have given him enough filleting for now, so we have an opportunity to kind of look at how Anti has been doing. And he's actually performing quite well in this match.
Speaking of Bob Joseph going right in on Kaori. Nice hook knockup coming out. That's going to be grounded Kaori as well. The Ignite's going to come out, and that is going to be another burn. But it's not going to be enough. The potion just barely keeps him alive.
Barely alive, yeah. I mean, we said Kaori was going to be in a miserable spot. He's down 10 CS. He's gotten 0 successful roams off, lost both his summoners again. And I feel like his team really needs it. And I feel like if you can put Anti ahead, he can look to carry this, right? It's a situation where the Gnar is versatile, that he can do a lot of things. And Zenzen, I mean, we see how much he can trade back, but there's not a whole lot of kill pressure going either direction. Now, something else we just missed, Arrow just went out and was complete whiff from Ultravox, so a lot of the kill pressure down there is gone.
Yeah, that's going to be a big detriment for TDE. We do see that Mountain Drake is up. I do think that TDE definitely wants this Mountain Drake a little bit more than RLS because those extra resistances would just be that much more useful for them. Anti pushing his luck, getting brought really low while not Mega, like not anywhere near it.
Yeah. I mean, the problem here is he's going to get out-sustained. Gragas is going to press W a couple times, and already that trade is a winning trade for Zenzen. But we do see TDE going for the Dragon like you expected. They're going to try and find this advantage. And Sherigan, I've honestly been really curious. You claim that the Dragons are a product of the compositions that are being played.
Mm-hmm.
What dragon are you expecting this time?
So with this particular context, I'm kind of cheating now because I can see that the Infernal Drake is going to come out. I was leaning towards Hextech in the beginning, so I'm just going to stick with that.
And
with the addition of Hextech and Chemtech, my whole prediction algorithm brain just got totally thrown off.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to that, right? Because we got a TDE going for a full-on invade, pushing Ruby out of their jungle. Unfortunately for Leaves, there is nothing to be picking up here. But with everybody coming in from behind, look at the fact that TDE have set up another perfect freeze position for Ultravox, and Built Like Mewtwo has to leave.
This flank is so dangerous. The Mist Arrow is going to be devastating, though, and that's going to be a nice Lantern, but it's going to pull him right into Blitzcrank, so that is going to be huge. We do have Escape managing to escape, though, and he's able to get out with his life with the sacrifice of his support.
Yeah, good stuff coming out from both sides, right? Escape is living it. The one thing is Ultravox, we got to be hitting those arrows, man. That is such a big thing. I think that turns into 2 kills if you land a little bit of extra crowd control. But so far, TDE coming out to an early advantage. Bob Joseph with 100% kill participation thus far. As long as they don't die to Cowrie here, they're going to be able to back away in a very strong position in every lane but top.
This vision control out of TDE is just hurting RLS so much. They just can't get off any ganks.
Yeah. And so this Aurelion, you know, it's not a terrible game for Aurelion, but when you are this far behind, you're just sitting on the boots, you're getting more and more desperate as this Aurelion player. And Cowrie, you know, this is their 5th game playing with the RLS squad so far this season, which is good. They're building more and more synergy, but it's a situation where when you're this far behind and you're a sub, you start feeling kind of desperate, right? When you play as a sub and things are going bad, you start thinking like, oh no, is it my fault? Can I try and find a way back in? And that puts you to make more and more desperate plays. And right now they need to play controlled for a little while longer because Escape is not out of the game. No,
not at all. I do like this right here. We got the hook coming out as we see Bob Joseph going right in onto Built Like Mewtwo. So they tried to match the it could ignite as we see Viego going down, getting burned away. We see Aurelion Soul coming in as well, trying to do what they can. That is a missed arrow that would have been huge. Cowrie just barely slipping by. Anti-jumping in on Mizuza. They're trying to chase down this Cassiopeia. Cass is going to get knocked into the wall on the wrong side of that blast cone, means he gets separated from the rest of his team. We have Zenzen jumping over the wall to try and help out his teammate. He's going to get caught out, though. That is going to be brought down, though, from the burn from the Cassiopeia poison, and we have Cowrie once again trying to do what Aurelion Souls can do, and we have Ruby coming in to join Jarvan, continuing this fight. That was a very big trade-off back and forth. He's just going to let Bob Joseph walk away, though.
Yeah, lots of cool things coming through, and Escape finding the solo kill onto Ultravox on the far side. I feel bad, man. I was saying he's been having trouble making the big aggressive plays, but he's able to find one right here. And does he not need anything fancy? Not really. He just hits all of his buttons, and at the very end, he's got enough Chakra to find the actual kill. Good stuff coming out from Escape. There's a reason why I've got him as the 2nd strongest AD carry in the entire league, behind only the Jeff God himself, and this is why he's able to make these kind of plays all on his own, and that's something that he was not able to do last year.
Exactly, and I really liked the fact that he forced that fight right in front of the turret. That's going to be a nice couple of plates over to the side of RLS, get them some extra gold. But the gold is actually just holding very, very even despite the kill differences.
Yeah, Anti got a big CS lead. Escape now getting 2 plates and a solo kill down here. Mason should be able to get
Yes, he is. He's going to get himself hooked.
Yeah, he's okay, though. Arrow lands!
It does land, but there's no extra follow-up.
Not a whole lot left there. So this is a situation where, despite a lot of the early mishaps, RLS should be feeling okay in this position. And they have a lot of go buttons that they can try and dictate the pace for. And this is something that I feel like RLS has been missing, is their primary shot caller. We know it used to be Anti in the previous season. We'll see if he can step up and get his pieces in the right positions, because the next team fight should be starting in about a minute.
That Venom from Cassiopeia is so deadly. It just burns away that health bar.
Yeah. Oh, Anti
going in.
There's a Ruby here.
Hard. We do have Ruby coming in right here. That's going to be the dive in. Q is going to miss just slightly, but Cataclysm is going to come out. That is going to mean Zenzen is trapped. So Ruby under tower is able to keep him there. That is a huge amount of damage. That is going to be a shutdown going over to Jarvan. He's going to get really big. Unfortunately, Aurelion Soul's going to get himself caught out by 3 members of TDE as they get a revenge kill. That is going to be a lot of damage on this mid tower, and it's going to start opening things up across the rest of this map for TDE.
Yeah, we are already noticing that with this turret going or taking a lot of damage, there is going to be a trade on both sides of the map. Anti taking a lot of chunks out of the top lane turret, and Escape picking up the entire first brick down here in the bottom side. But the thing is, RLS is trading a ton of tempo right now. They cannot fight this dragon anymore.
Not at all. Look at that. The arrow comes out, just barely misses. That is a nice hook, pulling Mazuza under the tower. That's 3 tower shots. That's going to be a huge kill going over to Escape. They do manage to pick that up. That was beautiful.
And I say they couldn't fight the dragon, now they suddenly can, because TDE overextending RLS have so much freedom on the map because of an overextension. This is one of the things that TDE often runs into. And Mason,
I'm not entirely sure what Bob Joseph was looking at. He gave his position away, missing that hook, which means that is going to be a free kill over for the side of RLS.
Got a bit of hums coming through right now for the members of TDE. They're trying to burn this down. Can they do it?
Trying to get it, and they are able to do it. Maybe that was the play. Maybe it was
no.
Just so they could sneak the dragon.
There is no way. I respect the idea. I respect the defense of it. But Bob Joseph, you were 007. Now you're no longer part of the 00 team, and it's a very rough spot for the TDE members. RLS have preyed on a couple of mistakes. That is, again, a 1 out of 4 arrows have landed from Ultravox as another one sails past the members of RLS. And now that TDE are behind, they don't play from behind particularly well. They already go for a lot of these really risky plays, and suddenly they might not realize how risky a lot of these plays that they're actually going for become. And so right now, they should be okay. They're still scaling. As long as they maintain some sense of calm for the next couple of minutes, TDE will get to a point where this Cassiopeia rules the entire Rift, but they need to not lose before then.
Now, one thing I want to point out really, really quickly while I have the opportunity is Ruby versus Leaves. He was talking about how he was worried about his performance in this game, and I don't think he has anything to worry about.
So far, I mean, he's been in the right places quite a bit. I am a little bit surprised that a couple of the combos haven't been going as quickly as I would have liked them to, but when you're this fed, you get a lot more freedom to play. And Mazuza,
look at that. The freeze right there. Cowrie getting brought exceptionally low by the burn, but that is going to be a nice health pot to keep him alive.
Gonna be all right. That is another flash, and it feels like Cowrie is also very struggling. But yeah, I mean, Ruby has been standing in the right places, even though he's not, even though they're not doing all the right things with their abilities. The fact they are standing in good places and consistently following the calls is really exciting.
And then that is going to be a nice bit of damage from the Rift Child. Good sidestep by Escape, avoiding Bob Joseph. Bob Joseph getting dropped exceptionally low. We have the ultimate coming out. Escape is going to get flashed right on top of. He's going to get completely taken out, as we do have a good knockup from Ruby and a nice lantern to keep his teammate alive coming out from Built Like Need to. Cataclysm wrapping the Cassiopeia under tower. Ash, though, getting the frozen arrows out, and those are just shredding through the members of RLS. Can't quite get the stun out from Cowrie, as that is going to be 2 kills for, I think it was 2 on the side of that fight.
I mean, cool stuff coming through from both sides of that map, right? A 2 for 2, definitely in favor of the team that is behind, and that is currently TDE. So RLS, I feel like they got away with murder for a lot of that fight, right? You saw that Ruby was walking away with just a tiny sliver of HP, and Leaves wasn't able to keep it up. And that's the kind of thing that we have to be tracking in future fights. Is Leaves going to be getting his first reset? He got the first one, but he wasn't able to chain into the second one. Because if Leaves gets that Jarvan in future fights, that fight is a devastation fight for TDE. RLS cannot stand up to suddenly Leaves getting another new health bar and Jarvan abilities to make sure that he can stick to the rest of the team.
Exactly. That's one of the most dangerous things about Viego. I do like that now that this mid turret is down, that is going to be all tier 1s taken down for TDE. That is kind of surprising because they have yet to take a single tower away from RLS.
True. I mean, I'm not super worried about that. If TDE start winning team fights, these structures fall very, very quickly, right? They have 2 major auto attackers in the Viego and the Ashe. They have the ability to just sit there on the side lanes and create a lot of pressure with the Cassiopeia later on. So the only thing is that it is preventing them from getting a lot of prio in the mid lane for these upcoming dragons, but they have time to do it. And that just barely goes wide. The 3D angles on Summoner's Rift.
Oh my goodness, that was a good Ashe arrow to try and keep this fight up, but unfortunately the Bob Joseph hook was already on cooldown. Wasn't able to get up there in time.
Yeah. Well, we are seeing opportunities for TDE to try and make some of these plays. I said that they could play a little bit calmer, but that's not the TDE fashion.
Whoa, it's not, and that is what's going to happen right there. Hooking over the wall. Good play getting 4 members of TDE, but that is going to be RLS's Mewtwo taken out of this fight. Thresh gets sent to the Death Realm, and that first Viego reset. Might be looking for a hook here.
Yeah, if they can pick up this turret and open it up, they are in a spot where they are going to be a little bit late. They're seeing a lot of gold. They can escape!
Coming out from Bob Joseph. Nice knock-up escape, though. It's going to be a away by the Gragas ulti. He was saved by the enemy team, and that is going to be the Cataclysm from Ruby coming out. That is a lot of damage on the side of rapidly losing sanity, and I have a feeling that trickle-down economics, they feel like they're losing their mind.
Oh my gosh, they are... RLS is getting away with murder once again. Another time where Leaves is so close to finding that first reset and finding an opportunity to take off in these team fights, and it happens at the worst possible time. Both of the solo laners for TDE no longer alive for this dragon that would have put them one away, and it is a Cloud Soul, it's not a Hextech Soul this time around, but it is the perfect position for RLS to be finding a major fight at the right time, and it feels so bad for the members of TDE because it was so close to being perfect.
Now, I do want to say the reason I was thinking Hextech was I was thinking map movement. So in a way, I was on the right track.
Okay,
so
I respect it.
I'm tuning it in. I'm starting to dial it back in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me a bit more about this whole formula so far, because as far as I know, it's still random, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan pilled in some way to try and make it work. But we'll get back to that a little bit later, because TDE now needs to be ready to try and defend the Baron. There's so many X factors on both sides of this map, right? The Blitzcrank can always just win the game for TDE. RLS have this huge engage and suddenly a very fed Aphelios that they can fall back on, and their go buttons are very straightforward. So it's a situation where with the game so even, both teams are going to be really feeling it. Both teams are going to need to try and make some plays, and I feel like that's something that should favor TDE in the long run.
In the long run, it theoretically should. I have a feeling that we're going to start seeing RLS start doing a bit of a death ball here because we do have the TP available for Anti. He can go to those side lanes and start pressuring. This is kind of interesting. You see them basically doing what Bob Joseph has been doing.
Oh, Zen.
Oh no, Zen's going to get flashed on. Flay's going to come out. The hook is going to go wide. It's going to catch onto poor little Scuttle Crab, unfortunately, but that is still going to be the kill going over for RLS Ruby. Bob Joseph being sneaky deaky, hiding right there behind that wall, but just missing that hook. The lollipop wasn't in his favor.
Yeah, that's really big. This is something that we're kind of seeing from Zen. The hardest part of Gragas is actually using the explosive cast correctly, and unfortunately not creating enough space between him and Ruby, but Bob Joseph wants to make up for it.
He does. Hex Flash coming out, going for the side angle rather than jumping into the enemy team. I like it with the goal of pulling under tower. Doesn't quite connect, though.
And this is a situation where I feel like RLS have a little bit more opportunity to be aggressive, and that's one of the things that we're seeing, because Anti hasn't been playing as much League of Legends recently. He was playing Rivals.
Where he was, and it's like, hey, I got you. It doesn't matter though. We got the second hook coming out. They're gonna jump in on Mewtwo, but it's from RLS. Like that's our robot going in. That was a huge petrifying gaze. Managed to catch 2 members of RLS. That is a lot of damage coming out. The Aphelios is just in the back. He's peppering them all. He's getting a lot of shuriken damage out as well. Just look at him shredding through those health bars. That is a triple kill going over to RLS Escape, and that is probably gonna be Baron.
That's really big, but I don't know if they can actually do Baron off of this. Zen is back up. They were looking for the TP, but RLS just a little bit too fast for the members of TDE to do anything. So, with everybody coming back on the map, we are going to be seeing that RLS will have another small advantage coming through. I said Mizuza could win these, but he gets hit up by the Nard, uses the flash a little bit too late, and it just means that not Mizuza, it's Escape winning these, right? Just the triple kill coming through. He's able to free hit because nobody is able to get towards the backline. And so TDE, again, as we start looking towards this, as they start looking for these plays, they need to be on the same page. That's something that RLS is going to specialize in, is being on the same page. They're blindly following whatever the calls are, and it's working.
It definitely is. It's really going in their favor. With the objectives that are left on the map, we have Baron up. Dragon's not up for another minute 50. So we're probably going to see some plays around this top lane. I'm definitely looking for another pick out of RLS. Like, they're going to try and do something a little bit more aggressive. I do like how much they're just sticking together, though. They're not spreading out across the map. Only Anti's going to a side lane. He's got TP, though, so it's not like he's not even too far away.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that RLS is doing really well, just kind of all points of the game so far, they have been getting their waves pushing before any of these fights happen. They are making sure that the top wave and the bottom wave are always on TDE side of the map before they start going for these death balls. And with next dragon coming up very soon, notice that nobody's matching anti. Nobody's going to be getting that wave pushing back towards RLS's side of the map, and that's going to be a small advantage for RLS. They're going to deny a little bit of gold. They're going to make sure that the top lane turret takes a little bit of extra damage, and any individual wave doesn't matter. But because they're doing it so consistently, it adds up very quickly.
It looks like they're trying to get escape. They want that bounty on his head, so they're all hanging around mid lane, which, like you said, it's letting Anti just free push top lane. They could have all 4 rotated up there. They saw him there.
Yeah. I mean, that's 100 gold that just went down the drain for TDE, because RLS feels stronger in the side lanes. They feel more proactive, and that gives them this opportunity. But now, both teams are going to be playing in the mid lane, and both teams need to fight for priority, because whoever has the vision control can get these fights going. And RLS, they're skipping the mid priority part because they just want to get directly into the jungle, and that might take TDE by surprise.
It really could. I do like Bob Joseph going in. He's going to be clearing this vision out. He's got that 60 vision score for a reason, but at the same time, RLS is matching it. Good blind hook, trying to see if anyone's trying to be sneaky. I do believe we've got the rest of RLS right here down on the bot side. They're ready for it. We see Mazuza.
Okay.
He spots out Mewtwo. This is probably going to get really spicy here in a second.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Ultravox and Anti are not there, but Anti, his rage is early. He needs to try and make a play happen very quickly.
He's got to pressure this right now. It's getting low. He's got we got Aurelion Soul trying to find a target. The hook just barely misses someone. That's going to be 2 people caught inside the Cataclysm. Great Petrifying Gauge stops Anti's initial engage, but the damage is just so insane, and they are able to take down 2 members of Trickle Down Economics. That is going to be absolutely pressuring them right off of this. Escape is now just trying to do the opposite of his namesake, dive in on them, making sure they have nowhere to go, they have no escapes, and this is just RLS picking them off one by one. Leaves coming in on the back line, but he doesn't really have anything he can do right now.
Yeah, RLS are in total control once again. I said they needed to go quickly, and they do exactly that. They throw Ruby in to go for the fight, and it's a domination. Right, you catch Mazuza without his flash. Ultravox is too far away to do any real damage, and TDE are not ready to disengage from the fight. But the question remains, and the question will continue to remain for a while, Sherigan. Yes, RLS have picked up this bearing. Yes, RLS are a couple thousand gold ahead, but that fight could have very easily gone in the other direction if we see that they're ready for it.
I like this. Leaves being exceptionally proactive, going for the Drake. He knows he's got the advantage. Anti is very, very low. This is probably, that's going to be the Ignite coming out to take it out. The disrespect.
Yeah, Helios MVP, I don't even know you. I haven't played against you before. Have a free Ignite and walk away. But this is what we're looking at, right? A 4,000 gold lead is nice. But with 1 dragon away from the Dragon Soul, suddenly TDE are feeling pretty okay because the extra movement speed gives them so much more freedom in these fights. They are less likely to get hit by the Jarvan Cataclysm because they are too far away. They are more free to move around and dodge away from what Anti is going to be doing. So this game still has a lot of play in it. There's still a Blitzcrank that can come through. And I feel like both teams really have a lot riding on this game. This is the last game in the first round robin. This is the last team that you have to play in order to kind of prove where you belong in the standings now that you have played every single other team. And if RLS wins this, suddenly it puts them from the 4th or 5th that a lot of people have in the PR and starts asking, are they part of the top echelons that we're expecting to potentially go to finals?
And I like how he was trying to get that engage off. They weren't quite able to push the tower quickly enough. The minions quickly enough into the tower. This is actually, Kairi's a little bit out of position right there. Oh, that hook.
So close. This is what we're saying, right? There's lots of opportunities. Kairi has looked a lot better in the second half of this game than he did in the first, but we can't underestimate the fact that he is 100 CS behind Mazuza at this point. Right. The other CS leads are still kind of what we were expecting them to be. Ultravox down 40, Anti up 20. And so there's still lots of opportunities for both teams. What is this? RLS with the Baron buff are actually going to be the ones losing structures off of it as TDE perfectly push up in order to try and take the mid lane turret. This means that if they ever find a clean teamfight victory, they go 5 for 0, the game can end.
That was definitely huge. I don't exactly know why they sent 3 to that top lane. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication right there.
Their first real macro mistake so far this game.
Yeah, that's going to be something that's going to probably come back to bite them in the foot. One thing I do want to point out as well is like look at the difference between the two ADCs. Like we were talking about the differences. That is Escape has set himself in a very nice position, but that is a lot of gold that if someone manages to pick him off is going to go right into their pocket, and that's just going to bring TDE back that much closer. And as we know, they like the long con investment strategy. So
they catch him.
They do manage to catch him. The cleanse is going to come out. Mewtwo going to go pull in with the hook. That means he's going to get brought really, really low. We do see that Ruby went a little bit too far forward, and he's going to get taken out. That is huge. The auto attacks followed and managed to pick him up.
Escape.
And we see Escape got pulled into the background. This is absolutely what RLS did not want to happen.
Good stuff coming out from TDE. There's still a lot of play. RLS overextending, but we're seeing, take another look at how Ruby plays this. And this is one of the things that I was asking about earlier on. Are they going to be able to play the champion as quickly as they need to? Are they going to be going forward and getting the EQ combos off quickly? And that was one of the big differences in this last fight. A little bit too focused on actually following the call. Ruby ends up going too far forward. And as we pay attention, watch how slow the flag drag combo ends up going. Here's the flag. Where's the flag? There's the flag. And there it is. Because it takes so long, Mezuzah now suddenly has time to throw out the ultimate before Ruby can lock him down. And on the other side, Zenzen has his first good barrel of the game. He knocks Escape back into the rest of his team, and there's nothing left for Escape to do. He'd already blown the cleanse. He doesn't want to blow the flash because he needs it for the next fight.
And now that they've managed to do that, we've got a huge push potential coming out from TDE as they shove down this mid lane. And then just basically get a lot of free CS on the side. We see RLS is having to back off, heal up, regroup. We don't have an objective that they have to worry about losing, but that is still a lot of structures that are going to be in jeopardy.
True, and Bob Joseph looking for an opportunity again.
Doing his spicy running with holding onto that hook. He doesn't want to. There it goes. He's going to finally catch it. And he's going to catch him right as he goes little. And that is going to be the Mega going away. Look at the Ash arrows just barely not doing enough damage. But that was a very well-timed hook coming out from Bob Joseph.
Yeah, Bob Joseph on this Blitzcrank has been looking phenomenal so far this game. He's always looking for the hooks. Not always getting them, but always looking for opportunities. Cowie, can you do this? Yeah, a little bit unsafe, but he ends up being okay as they reset. Top turret goes down, and everybody is going to be on the map for this upcoming fight. So let's take a quick stock of what summoner spells are missing. One, Escape's Cleanse. Oh, okay, well now Ruby's Flash is going to be gone as well. But the biggest one that we have to pay attention to is Mezuzah has no Flash. If he gets locked up in the Cataclysm by Jarvan, he has no way out.
Oh, we got the hook coming out right there. That is going to be a nice catch as we see Mew getting brought really, really low. We got the TP coming out from Anti as he's coming to join this fight as well. Lots of damage coming out on the backline. Mewtwo getting chased away. Anti and Escape, though, are very full health. The Petrifying Gaze does not find anyone, but this is a fight around the terrain that they have to worry about now, and that is a big advantage for TDE. They're able to get the blind hook. He does manage to pick up Escape, knock him up into the air, but unfortunately, he's going to get brought low way too quickly. Escape is going to be able to come around, trying to find a side angle, pick off using his range in order to get the damage off, but Ash is able to do so much more from a distance, like that short range distance over the wall. So that means Aphelios is going to get the damage of the Infernum, getting the crit kill.
Okay, both of them playing, both of them have enough DPS, but there's no health bars on the side of RLS. I feel like TDE should be comfortable trying to do this. They do have Zenzen coming up in a long time, but oh man, it's so close. Who has the balls?
They really want to do this. I feel like Ultravox has absolutely no problem stepping up. Just one nice volley means that we're going to get Anti basically taken out of the fight. Hook coming out from Escape, and that's gonna be Escape. First down, he is gone. Ultravox trying to chase this out, but unfortunately, look who's cut back. We got the spike coming back from Ruby as thank you for the leash, and that is gonna be the dragon going for Ruby, but it's gonna cost them losing their ADC.
Look at this beautiful layering of crowd control. Mezuzah, he has his ultimate on a low enough cooldown that he gets to use it twice in that fight. Escape was not ready, unfortunately, for TDE. They do everything right except having their jungler alive. Leaves not going to be there in time, means that the Cloud Dragon goes over. But I said we're in for a long one, guys. There's a lot of play left in this game. Both teams are here to fight with the next dragon, the next Baron spawning here very soon. I feel like TDE can come take control and dare RLS to come into the game.
They definitely are going to be the ones who are going to be kind of doing the come at me, bro, sort of stance. And I love the pressure that we've got Bob Joseph doing right now with stepping into the topside jungle. This fight around Baron, I don't know if it's going to make or break the game, but it could be exceptionally significant.
If either team clean wipes the other, the game ends. Right, you just have so much pressure on the map. There are enough turrets that have been taken down that if you have all of your members alive, they will take these structures quickly enough. But TDE, a little bit too slow on actually pulling the trigger, are going to get here at about the same time as RLS. And look at the side lanes once again. RLS has better side lanes even now. So it creates a situation where TDE, it's not really a clock, but it's not pleasant. Oh, they can escape!
Hook does actually manage to hit Escape. Escape's going to get brought down to half health almost immediately. Diego looking for that side angle, trying to find the target, isn't able to do it. We see that Fresh was grounded, or J4 was grounded, so he gets taken out, and that reset from Leaves comes out, means he jumps right on top of Escape. Escape has no peel right now. Oh, but the hook comes out from Thresh. They do manage to get it. That is going to be a nice kill picked up over there. In the meantime, we got the rest of RLS and TDE picking each other off in this top part of the jungle. That is going to be the hook coming up from Mewtwo, trying to find Mizuza. Mizuza is full health, though. RLS has no health bars. They really need to back this up, because if you get a good volley off, it's going to be the rest of your team is dead.
That's it.
Look at that. Mizuza picks him off. That is going to be him down. RLS trying to run away, but he's not going to take it out as well. The double fang from Mizuza. The poison is going to... It's not going to take you out.
Not going to take.
Mewtwo survives. Oh.
Okay. I just want to shout out Leaves, man. The fact that he didn't get the kill is a bit of a tragedy, but he did what he needed to. He kept Escape out of the fight that entire time. And hey, I'm the choke points guy. Let's talk about some geography. For the first time ever, we saw both teams trying to fight through this narrow corridor. And once you are fighting through the corridor without your own AD carry, it was a total loss coming through from RLS. You can't out DPS both the Cassiopeia and the Ashe Esnar. There's no way you can do it as the Aurelion Soul, and we saw Anti melt during that last fight because he put himself in the choke point. There's no way for them to back it up. But with the Baron buff coming through, we see a lead for TDE finally, and maybe they can finally get the Cloud Soul.
Maybe they can finally get that Cloud Soul. We do see that the mid inhibitor for TDE was taken out, so I think that was just the minion wave pushing into it that managed to do it. But with this Cloud Soul on the table, it's going to be a huge fight, and they've got the advantage of Baron buff as well.
Yep.
TDE is basically their dragon to lose, in my opinion.
They should have priority in every lane, and now, finally, because the waves have bounced, not because TDE have done something about them, the waves will be pushing back towards RLS. So that naturally is kind of the ebb and flow of the map that will be favoring TDE for a little while. We see the pressure coming up from Bob Joseph, but he can get picked too.
He gets hooked, but unfortunately somebody flashed, and I feel like it didn't go where they wanted it to.
Yeah, I didn't quite see a flash, but maybe I'm crazy.
Was it a hex flash?
Might have been a hex flash from Bob Joseph.
I think he was trying to go over the wall, just didn't build it up enough.
Maybe. Well, this is the test right now for TDE.
This siege is going to go very well for TDE.
Yeah, they can't really super safely hit this turret. They're going to have to be relying on the super minions to do things, and Escape has enough gold that he can kind of walk forward. So it's going to be a lot on Bob Joseph to try and find these hooks, but more than anything, TDE needs to use this time to push things forward and let the side waves push and use the natural pressure of their map to buy time for the upcoming dragon. You do not want to let RLS contest you for this Cloud Soul, and you want to try and pick them off in the fight beforehand.
Again, we got that Hex Flash not quite going in the direction Bob Joseph, I think, wanted. He was looking for that side angle. The hook goes out. It's just short of Mewtwo. He's basically decided, you know what? I can't always catch Escape, but I can catch Thresh.
Yeah, true. If you catch the Thresh, sometimes it's better because nobody can give Thresh the Lantern. But I love this timing coming through from TDE. They're backing away, spending all the gold that they were building up, and now they're going to be back on the map. And this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want to see teams be doing. They go into the map, they wait in these choke points. The only thing is, there's only 2 of them. They don't have everybody else, and they know Blitzcrank's not here.
No, but it's not going to matter as we see that poor Thresh is going to get caught out. He's going to be a nice Petrifying Gaze, knocks up 2 members of RLS. Nice Ash Arrow from downtown means that's going to be a huge amount of stuff. A missed throw from Anti means that we've got the rest of TDE running away. Bob Joseph getting chased down by our Aphelios. Aphelios managing to drop the ultimate onto the back line, but he's just going to get completely bursted out of there by Viego.
Yeah, I love the idea coming out from TDE, but it's not enough at the beginning. But because it drags on so long, because Mizuza has picked up that Gargoyle Stone Plate to keep himself alive when Jarvan jumps on him, it is enough for them to win. And the craziest thing, I didn't even realize that Leaves was resetting that entire time. I was just focused on what Escape was doing. I saw him go tangle with Bob Joseph off on the side. I saw him come back because this guy has 12 kills at this point. He's got 4 completed items, but you know what, Jerrigan? He's not in the lead anymore. Look at the fact that Ultravox has the same number of items now.
Mm-hmm. Same number of items. The bounties have shifted. That is still a little bit of a gold lead on the side of Escape.
500.
It's really nothing.
It's it is less than the difference in their current inventories that they currently have unspent. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It is no longer elite, and that is how far RLS have fallen from their initial point of grace. And at this point in the game, this Aurelion Sol, he's doing his best, right? But he doesn't have a whole lot of freedom over who he's actually going to be hitting, and that just means that as long as TDE are taking good fights, they should always be an advantage. They gotta wait, or they gotta make sure they are ready, because they don't have any flashes right now, but there's nothing to fight for 2 more minutes.
That is probably like the 4th hook I've seen recently where Bob Joseph has just barely missed it by a pixel.
I mean, he's going for it, right?
He's going for it. It's great.
One of the things I talk about in the FOF Connect and in my article about TDE, and I will do about future teams, is how much pressure they put on the game. And do you feel it coming out from Mason? Every single time he stands anywhere, like, is he going to get a hook? Right? Mm-hmm. And that's something you always have to ask. And then you have to ask, who's doing it on RLS? Who's creating pressure? It's mostly Anti and Escape, right? Mm-hmm. The same people who are doing it for this team last year. They're the ones who I'm always worried, are they going to go off? And so far, TDE have done a better job at neutralizing RLS's pressure in the recent minutes than RLS have prevented TDE from doing it.
That they definitely have. Now, one thing you did mention in your article that I didn't call you out earlier is you said you don't like mechanic.
I hate the word mechanics, man.
You used mechanics earlier.
Okay. I believe it. I very much believe it. The thing is, people don't agree on what this means, right? It's like the word tempo. Like, it means different things to different people. And so it creates a situation where we're not sure what they're talking about. When I use the word mechanics, I literally mean your biomechanics. Is your brain and your fingers communicating properly? Because the answer is, for some people, no. Right? But every single time we're paying attention to these players, most of them, I think they're as neurodivergent as I know some of these people are. There are plenty of opportunities for them to focus more on what they need to do rather than trusting their fingers to actually push the buttons in the right order.
Ooh, I really like this. We got a lot of pressure coming out from TDE as they're hovering around this Baron. They're like, we know you want it. We're going to get it, though. Like, this is ours. And we got Anti in the bot lane already starting to use that TP, using it early, coming up here for this fight. Hook's going to come out. That's going to catch onto Bob Joseph. Ash Arrow is going to find Ruby. Ruby's going to get stalled just a little bit. They do have the rest of the engagement. We have Cowrie trying to find the stun. Does manage to hit the stun onto the Gragas. We have Blitzcrank getting brought very, very low. Petrifying Gaze is going to come out. It's only going to find the Aurelion Sol. This is going very well for Ruby right now. They are doing absolutely fantastic. They are picking off the members of TDE. They separated them out. Mizuza's going to get brought low. He's going to get shut down. That is going to be the Baron for Ruby. Although it looks like they're just like, you know what? No, we're just going to push. We're going to go for the end.
The push is the bold call. We can see RLS fail to actually win the game here, and that just creates another coin flip situation. They're going to really have to try and push this because there's a lot of wave clear. Ultravox does a lot of damage, but Escape is confident that he can actually outplay him.
He is very, very confident. He's ready for that. We see Escape walking right over that cask. Does manage to get off before it goes off. We see Ultravox has got the GA. They are going to be able to revive themselves, so they're not really worried about that. We've got the inhibitor down. I'm not entirely sure I'm on your side with this push, RLS. That's going to be the turret going down. But we got the flash coming out, going in onto Gragas. Gragas is going to get away, though. We have the rest of RLS trying to do the work, but unfortunately, they're just getting picked off by the rest of the members of TDE. I do believe the timers are going to be okay to where RLS is able to stick around in this fight, but that was a little bit excessive.
That was really aggressive, right? I was saying at the very beginning, like this is bold. This is giving the game another opportunity for TDE to take control. And now because they're dead for so long, I mean, unless Kaori is suddenly a total monster and is going to kill all of them, this is going to be the Baron going over to TDE and them having control of the map. And there's still a Nexus turret, so you can't even backdoor it as the members of RLS. The call was decisive, but unfortunately in this situation, it was the wrong one. And now look at all the pressure that TDE are going to be able to put on the map. But we will see if Kaori goes down now after this Baron ends, the game might also end because that could be the Elder Dragon.
That's going to be really, really scary if that Elder Dragon does manage to go over to the side of TDE. I am curious, how would your scouting report factor that fight in if you knew who made the ultimate call? Like, let's say Anti was the one who made that call. How would that factor into your scouting report for him?
Oh, that's an interesting question. We don't talk about that in the things because it's so hard. It's so hard to know, right? Like, what if everybody else is a savant and Anti is just really loudly saying, "Let's go hit the Nexus"? Now, I know it's not true, but it's one of those things that you got to keep in mind. We don't know for most of these teams what it's like, but we do know that currently RLS are in control of the river. But this is a situation where TDE can call their bluff.
I feel, yeah. They're basically playing with a straight while the flush draw is on the side of TDE. They can easily pull this out. The coin flip, they want this coin flip.
Yeah,
they've got the Baron
are up.
Oh, we got the Ash Arrow coming out. It's going to find Thresh. Thresh is going to get pulled in. He's going to get burst before he has a chance
to escape.
Anything. Escape's going to get pushed back as well. That was beautifully done by Gragas, pushing the rest of RLS away. That is going to be 3 members of RLS already brought down. There is very little they can do at this point. Escape's trying to find a target. The Infernum is doing as much damage as it can. Petrifying Gaze is going to come out, though, and that's going to be the burst. That is essentially going to be it. We do see TDE. Are they going to go for the Elder, or are they just going to go straight for the end? Because I feel like they should just end it.
Oh my god. It's so hard. You're pushing against double supers in the mid lane. I want them to go for the Elder, but I gotta say, Ultravox missing arrows all game long, but he hits them when it matters right here at the very end. They're going to be pushing, but they don't have Ashe. This push is incredibly slow. They need Ultravox to be here if they want this to be winning push.
We do see Ultravox pushing in that mid lane. It looks like they're trying to go for the more spread out, but they're essentially doing what RLS did, where it's like they're pushing, but they're not finishing the objectives.
Okay, well, it should be 2 inhibitors. It should be 2 inhibitors potentially, but no, they don't.
Unless Ultravox walks away.
What? Guys, boys, team, friends, what is happening? We need to be on the same page with these things. Okay, they should be able to pick up this Elder Dragon, and that should be an unwinnable position for RLS. But this game, back and forth and back and forth, Bob Joseph standing in the perfect position to prevent Ruby from getting in. So this should be an uncontested objective coming out from TDE. But man, this game, you can tell the nerves on both teams in this game.
They both know, they're like, okay, we can't screw this up, so let's just play it as safe as we possibly can and go for as many objectives as possible at once. That was
I said it was hard to push the mid lane. There's double supers there. It takes forever.
Tricky. It does. I mean, they did have the Baron buff, so maybe they could have done it, but yeah, no, the double supers, like that passive is just
it's a lot.
It is a lot, and it surprises you usually. Like, you're just not expecting how much defense as it gives for the rest of those minions.
Yeah, so the Baron buff has just expired for TDE, but they still have the Elder for another just under 2 minutes at this point. And this is where, when you are in a siege situation, it is very easy to hit Ashe arrows. And crucially, Ultravox still has his flash. You only need one of Cassiopeia or Ashe at this point to do enough damage. And with this turret going down, they just need to go for any arrow.
Now, this is I think TDE's got this right here in the bag. You've got 2 GAs on their side as well. So you've got both Viego and Ashe can get brought down. This is going to be both inhibitors falling. They can essentially pressure this as much as they want, I think, if they really want it to. But smart play, rotate top, push it in, get that top turret, just get rid of the last inhibitor, and then it's going to be 6 super minions pushing into that base.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would like to call, to be a little bit egocentric. This is what I call the Joshi influences on TDE, right? Zen studied under me for an entire season last time around. This is the Joshi call. Let's go through, let's pick this up, let's force them to group up so that we can hit them with an Ashe arrow, and it becomes incredibly difficult for them to actually play through. And as they take all 3 inhibitors, the question is, RLS, you still have to defend your Nexus turrets for another 50 seconds.
I don't know if you remember the YouTuber Don Wop. Every time I see 3 inhibitors down, I always think of his video where he mentioned, it's like, if you've lost all 3 of your inhibitors, you've got some other problem than just playing the game slow.
Yeah. You got to be really careful about actually trying to do something. So any arrow that lands onto a squishy member, as long as it's not hitting.
The flash hook is gonna come out. That's gonna be pulling into the J4. We've got that Elder Broof about to get the burst. There's execute number 1. Execute number 2. We see that the rest of the members of RLS are just gonna get picked off one by one right now. Escape gets executed in the fountain. Anti try to get the heals off. We do see that the fountain's doing a lot of work, but that is gonna be the turrets falling, and that is gonna be the Nexus falling as well. Trickle down economics pulls out the win and retain their mental capacities.
You know what they say about RLS? It doesn't stand for rapidly losing sanity. This time it stands for really like suns, because they're looking like Icarus today, right? They flew a little bit too close to the sun. They thought they could take the enemy Nexus on that one push, and unfortunately, it's too hot. There's too many members of TDE right there. Wings melted, and we see the results of it. RLS so close to taking this game off of TDE, and even though they're playing with 4 subs, I still feel like this is a win for RLS morally. TDE gets the W in the column, but RLS look at this and say, even with 4 subs, we still took TDE to 48 minutes.
Exactly. And it's not that they took them to 48 minutes because they were making misplays on both sides, but because they were matching each other throughout the entire game.
Yeah,
like
it's really, really crazy stuff coming through from both teams. We get to see a bit of why both squads are currently where they are in the standings, why both teams have a lot of opportunities to play, and it's really cool to me that this is entirely irrelevant in terms of the actual game, but at the very end, Ultravox and Escape have the same CS. Right? Escape has had a couple of opportunities where he has looked so good early on in these games, but he just needs to be able to go a little bit farther forward. He got marked by Leaves in some fights where he wasn't able to participate. He was marked by Bob Joseph in other fights, and he couldn't hit there either. And every single time, you just need to say, I don't give a crap about you, Blitzcrank. I'm going to hit the rest of your team.
Exactly. All right, and with that, we're going to take a quick break, folks. Don't go away. We'll be right back with an interview with our winners, Trickle Down Economics.
Hello, folks. Chris Edgeworth here with our third interview tonight, and I am joined by the victorious Mezuzah out of the mid lane from Trickle Down Economics. How are you feeling after the win?
Whew, little exhausted. That was a hyphy one.
Yeah, it was a low-key banger. It was quite an interesting game, long one. I thought for sure we were going to see another Elder and maybe an extra Baron or two, who knows. But let's
We wouldn't
talk
want to
about...
keep you guys up too long.
Oh, that's awful kind of you. You know, who doesn't like a good 80-minute banger? You know, a little Fnatic OMG action. Let's talk about this game's draft. You folks, you find yourself on the Cassiopeia. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on in this game with both the Bob Joseph Blitz. We have the Thresh matchup with Escape on Aphelios too, which certainly popped off. And then you were up against the big ace hole himself. What were your thoughts on this draft and this matchup?
I thought, generally speaking, the game for Cassio is not too bad. I thought both teams have plenty of options. Especially, I mean, you saw them in some of the fights. Gnar jumping in after the Jarvan to just slam me and Ashe into a wall. So both sides had some give and take. For our side, I think we got a lot of what we wanted, and I think it shows. So we were able to really pull through at the end, thanks to that.
Of course, and I do want to just let's dial in overall on the mid game. And how you folks looked like you did have the solid leverage in this game on how Bob Joseph was playing like an absolute psycho on the straight up.
Does he never play, does he ever not play like an absolute psycho?
This is true. But
this is why we love him.
I mean, he was coming to your lane. He got the first kill. Then he's like, hey, I'm gonna make a quick visit. Stop upstairs, see if I can't get another cheeky kill. He does. Really set you guys up for a nice early game. I just want to get your thoughts on overall how you folks were feeling there towards the mid game on RLS, and sort of making a comeback off of a couple key plays that they were able to pull off against you. I think they set it pretty well at the end of the game. It was there's a lot there for RLS. As a team of subs, that they came in and they were able to drag you folks all the way out for 45 minutes. So what were your thoughts on this game, and what was your headspace as you folks thought or may have thought things were starting to slip out of your favor?
Yeah, I think I think kudos to RLS here. They did a pretty amazing job, especially given that it's just 4 subs. I think we as a team have a lot of VOD reviewing to do after that game, but I am happy with a lot of the individual pieces that we had here, and I think one of the things to call out is just that RLS was able to get some pretty nasty engages for 3 or 4 fights in a row, and it made the game really tough. And then fortunately, I think we adapted to the situation, changed our strategy and game plan a little bit, and as we did, it turned a lot of the fights towards the end of the game. So I think that was very helpful.
Yeah, just a couple quick thoughts. I felt like Anti really showed up in this game as best he could. Zen was much getting the energy, or the pressure out rather, energetic around the map and around these fights. But what I liked was we were seeing some big Gnars come out until I think the final fight was what sealed it for me. We see Zen able to stopwatch the big Gnar ult that I don't think it would have necessarily turned that fight, but it could have made it a little scrappier, a little harder for you folks to end directly off of that push. So just big shouts out to RLS. Before we step away though, while I have you here, this was something that came up on LCS this weekend, I'm pretty sure. And is something that we saw from you this game. From my own understanding of this, the rank 1 Cassiopeia in Korea, this is something that they build in more than half their games, I want to say, is the 3rd item of the Gargoyle Stone Plate. You picked up the Cosmic Drive 3rd. You picked it up 4th though. I think it's a really good item on Cassio, with how some of the item build profiles have shifted since the item rework. What are your thoughts overall on this new version of Cassio?
One, I think that in a lot of like the way that Cassio likes to play is just like getting in there, and fighting. I think it's just an excellent item for the way she wants to play the game and her champ identity. And especially you can see it in this game, right? Like when Jarvan and Gnar jump on me and they're able to kill me through their damage or like through their ultimates, it kind of sucks. But if I live through that, they don't actually have anything to do as I like just blow all of my damage in their face. So I think it was an amazing item this game, and honestly, like I'm still somewhat early in this in learning Cassio, and I think I keep meaning to build the item third, but I keep greeting for the for Cosmic Drive because I also really love that item. And I think just this game, it was a mistake the build order was a bit of a mistake, but fortunately we were able to correct that, and it saved me through one of the fights and let me get a triple kill.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it is. Hey, shouts out to you for being willing to publicly say, like, I think I probably could have built that the other way. That was just my thoughts when I was watching the game. Like you say, I think it's really a solid item, or an item that was overlooked because of the build path versus the quote unquote AP scaling mage of Cassio. You don't think about it, but hey, if it's good enough for Galio, it's like as a support main. If it's good enough for us to use it, it typically gets stolen by other roles and then it gets nerfed. So look forward to seeing how this new flavor stands out of it. Riot's going to let people enjoy the flavors of the Stoneplate Cassio, or if this is going to lead to nerfs for it down the line. Be interesting to see. Azusa, thank you so much for this interview. Before we step away, any final thoughts, any shout outs you want to leave with us?
I think I'm just really happy for my team and pulling it together. I know Ultravox was quite nervous there, and he did a great job at the end there. And yeah, like shout outs to I guess my bot lane, then Mason also coming, or Bob Joseph coming to my lane and winning it for me.
Hell yeah.
And yeah. I would say stuff for Zane for Zenzen and Leaves as well, but unfortunately I just didn't get to pay attention to them as much this game.
Right on. Well, when you're fighting for your own life, it's hard to miss the forest for the trees, so to speak. So, Azusa, thank you so much again for this interview. Congratulations to TDE on this win. Folks, we do have one more game of the night coming up very soon. We're going to take a very short break, as short as possible, so that we can get you this last game shortly. So don't go too far. We'll be back very soon.